Pope and Cuba and America. There are those people who are saying, wait a minute, this is the leader of the Catholic Church. We realize that he wants to get involved, but should the Pope be helping to set the foreign policy of America when many people say he really doesn't know everything that's behind what's going on?
Well, actually, the Vatican's been doing this for a very long time. Of course, we know what John Paul II, what he did to bring down communism in Poland and Eastern Europe and ultimately in the Soviet Union. The Vatican, the Holy See, that is, in the diplomatic end, does have a non-observer seat at the UN. It is a nation state. So whether people like it or not, the Pope is an integral player on the international scene, and I think he did the right thing in this.
With regard to then, in doing this the right thing, there are some right-wing Republicans. Well, let's be real honest about this. A lot of Republicans have said this is the wrong deal, and many of these Republicans are Christians, Catholics. They are Pope. They are followers of the Vatican. They're not happy with what the Pope is doing right now. How does he then, or in your opinion, how should he help to reconcile that and perhaps make nice with the people who want to follow their religion but don't want the Pope involved in politics?
Well, I mean, again, you know, the Pope is allowed to say what he wants, and Catholics that doesn't deal with morals and some kind of a serious elevation of the Church's doctrine. This is not an encyclical or something of that nature. These kind of diplomatic overtures are always made by popes. But the fact of the matter is, whether people like it or not, the big losers in this are the communists in Cuba. You can't have people shuttling back and forth, which is what's going to happen with the travel restrictions lifted between Miami and indeed all over the country, the United States and Cuba, and not undermine the communists there. Why? Because people bring their ideas with them. They'll share their stories. They'll tell about their lifestyle. Ultimately, the people will press for more rights. We already see it with regard to religious liberty. Under Castro now, just recently, he said that the Catholics who live in Tampa, Florida, you're welcome to come in and build a Catholic church there. So I do think that religious liberty and economic liberty are on the rise, and while they do not guarantee political liberty, they ultimately will work to undermine the forces of repression. The losers are the communists, and that's why I'm very happy with it.
Are we on the cusp right now of seeing the Vatican become much more of a power, not only in America, but around the world, as this Pope seems to be taking more liberties with his power, if you will, saying things, getting things done, but it seems to be as if he wants to become that force and make the Vatican more meaningful?
Right. I don't know that I would say that he's taking liberties. I mean, he has every right as a world leader to speak out on these issues and to broker compromise. I do think you'll see him to become more active, but God knows he has a lot of things to take care of within the Catholic Church as well. This obviously did come as a surprise to a lot of people, and I do think that people are going to have to settle down, take a deep breath, and see what's going on here. I happen to hate everything that Fidel Castro did to his own people beginning in 1959. But that's why today I look at this with a smile on my face, because his side, his legacy is going to go down the tubes. He punished the poor as much as rhetorically he championed their cause. And once these people get their appetite whet for more freedom, the communists are going to have to buckle. It's not going to happen overnight, but this is going to happen eventually.
Bill, I know we've only got 30 seconds left here. This is a complete guess on your side, but what would you guess might be the Pope's next move? Where do you think he'll go next on the world stage to try and get something done that we might not expect?
Well, I think that he'd probably look to the east. I mean, you got a lot of problems in China, clearly with the Catholic Church not being free there. I don't know if anybody can help out the ruthless thugs who run North Korea. I'm not so sure you can do anything about that. He has spoken to the Muslim leaders and told them, you must speak out. The moderate Muslims' voice has to be heard. You can't sit back and watch these people behead Christians and then claim you have no responsibility. So he's addressed that problem in the Middle East. Now he's addressed Cuba. I think the harder nut to crack is going to be out in Asia.
I tend to think you're right, too. Bill, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Very Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you soon.
Merry Christmas.
Take care, Bill. We're back after a short break with the December tax deadline you probably don't know about, because it'll track right to your taxes, thanks to the man in the White House. It's coming up right here on MidPoint.